Okay, we can start a theory of all things. Okay, let's start with the timeline. The solar system or any other planetary system out there in the universe can be called a timeline, which means all planetary systems and ours are timelines. The timeline can be at max a whole galaxy that has time for a reason. Let's start with Mercury, the planet which orbits closest to the Sun than other planets in our timeline. When you approach Mercury, you will notice that the spaceship's speed will be faster and faster as you get closer, even if you shut down the engine because the gravity of the Sun will drag you. The first scenario is that if you enter the atmosphere of Mercury, you will probably crash. If you survive the crash, the time there runs faster than the time of the Earth, and your heart will beat faster and eventually you will die there, in a few minutes maximum. Most probably. The second scenario is that if you don't end up on Mercury, you will be destroyed by the Sun at some point, because the Sun's gravity will drag you there. You can send droids for images, but it's only a matter of time that they will be destroyed. Venus. Strong or smaller volcano eruptions and brutal ground activities. Next planet is Earth, and we will come to that later on. Next planet, Mars. If you manage somehow to go there and create a base with people who will live in there, most people will might suffer with headaches, nausea, stomach issues, lack of focus, and other stuff. Next problem are meteors, small or big, that are hitting Mars often and randomly. The atmosphere of Mars is way lighter than the atmosphere of the Earth, which means that even a small meteor will not fade completely while entering the atmosphere and might cause serious damage to the base and even complete destruction of the base and everyone in it. Jupiter. It has extreme weather phenomena. If you manage to land there and step on the ground, you won't be able to move as the gravity is more powerful from that on Earth, and probably your legs will break in less than a minute or a bit more. If you crash and survive the crash, you will not be able to move and you will be stuck in the debris. If the ground is soft, you will be dragged deeper in the ground. If you land there safely, somehow, and you want to return to your space station outside of Jupiter, you won't be able to do it because you won't have the lifting power to leave the atmosphere, because when you will go higher and higher, you will need more lifting power and the gravity of this planet will drag you down to the ground. Saturn. Similar weather phenomena and dangerous ground activity. Heavier atmosphere than Jupiter and toxic. Uranus. Toxic atmosphere and extreme weather conditions, mostly more powerful tornadoes than the Earth. If you enter the atmosphere, most possible scenario is that your ship will be destroyed eventually from the tornadoes or the powerful winds. Neptune. Almost all planets discovered by extremely toxic seas or oceans, or you can call it whatever you like, but it has some islands, small or bigger, which most of them are rocky. Pluto. It indicates that is the end of our timeline. The atmosphere there can freeze almost everything, so does the surface. But if somehow we manage to land there, its surface has a serious danger. On its surface, and maybe even in its atmosphere, there are microorganisms that cover any mass and live there and can adjust and reproduce anywhere, even in space. If something or someone will come safely here on Earth from Pluto, these microorganisms will start to reproduce anywhere and everywhere along the surface of the Earth and even our atmosphere, which means all life forms of the Earth will end in around 10 days, more or less. And maybe they might not be seen with microscopes. They just kill fast or slowly any life form, at least any life form in our timeline. If you wanna go farther from Pluto, your heart will beat slower than the regular, which means you might have time to go back. If not, you die at some point. If somehow survive from this slower heartbeat and go further, you will face electromagnetic fields and explosion of any kind randomly seen or unseen. That will cause damage to the passengers and mainly to the spaceship. You will also face radiation clouds which will penetrate the spaceship with any material that is created and kill the travelers. You will also might face particles that will stack on the ship as you pass by them, and will start to melt the ship and the passengers and maybe the passengers that are inside the ship, as they are powerful acid that can possibly destroy any mass that they are attached to. That's some things that most probably will face after leaving your timeline. I will now name other technologies that you might think will be helpful to travel through space and time. Traveling with the speed of the light. If achieved, you can travel inside your timeline as many times as you want. If you want to travel on an empty spot outside of your timeline, you will be consumed by the abyss, the global abyss, which is spread across the universe. That kind of abyss. Or if you are lucky, you will get out there and you will be consumed by the abyss. You will get there and you will be consumed by the abyss, because as it is an empty spot and time does not exist there for you. Same thing will happen if you try to reach another timeline, because there is no time there for you. Traveling with the speed of the light to any distance, it's super dangerous, because even a small rock or meteor can penetrate almost any mass and destroy any spaceship and all of its passengers. Teleportation. If this technology will be achieved, it can only be used in our timeline. Wormholes. You can jump with wormholes inside our timeline. If you go out to our timeline, you will be consumed by the abyss, whatever. That's what the abyss does. You cannot see the abyss, but it exists in the whole universe, and it consumes all trespassers from all timelines and any life form that tries to escape their timeline. The abyss consumes everything, even our souls. But the most important thing you need to know about using a wormhole is that when you open it and enter or not enter, there is an incredible chance to create a black hole. A black hole, once created, can be bigger and bigger as it consumes planets and stars and everything that catches in its gravity, and might never stop growing. And of course, there is a possibility to stop growing and stay there as it is, or it can close completely at some point. Any object that the black hole consumes, slower or faster, it will end up into the abyss. So, in a way, a wormhole is a gateway to the abyss. Telepathy. Beings with telepathy, or technologies that use telepathy to find resources or other life forms outside their timeline, are blocked, and they are blocked from our sun and other stars in other timelines. The sun has a radiation that blocks these beings or technologies to find something in our timeline, and other suns, bigger or smaller, do the same thing to the timelines. When I say suns, I mean stars, but you can call them suns if you like. So, as I say, all stars, bigger or smaller, do the same thing to their timeline. So they can use telepathy to their timeline only. So you can have telepathy, but you can use it only in your timeline. That's what I'm trying to say. So in a way, all timelines, including ours as well, are very well protected from the inside or outer threats, simply because leaving or escaping our timeline causes unsynchronization from our Earth's time, from our time of the Earth. This can be called a synchronization of a life form or of a living being. I am coming back to Earth now. All we need or want is here on Earth. And here on Earth we have something remarkable. For me, it is the symbol of the cross, Christianism, the belief to the light. Christianism is not a religion, but a way to the light. I will start with a sentence. Someone said that it is better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. I don't know who said it, and I don't care, but someone said it. So I say to you now, we can analyze this phrase here. That is completely wrong for me, and I will explain to you as much as I can. Hell is Satan's God, and he and only he is the absolute ruler there, because it is his dominion and only his. In hell you will not have any memory of who you are and what you are or where you were, and any information that Satan will give you, it will cause more pain and suffering and torture, and it will be eternal. He won't care about what you have done for him during your life on earth or why you are here, why you are there. A soul is a soul for him. When you enter into his world, he is not to be trusted in any way, because no one will rule something there, and he won't hesitate to throw his demons and his princes into his pits of hell at any moment, at any time. He only gives and will give pain and torture and suffering to all souls, and this will be eternal. But to me, he is a great teacher. To me, yes, he is. And maybe it should to all of us. Somehow he created the 7 deadly sins and was spread to our world. Not controlling even one of the 7 sins that we feel for something or someone in our lives will result destructive damage, small or big, to ourselves and to others. We can feel them, of course, but they shouldn't overtake us. Beware, if you are consumed by one of the deadly sins, by one deadly sin, then it will lead you to the others in no time. We can resist all that by creating or having the light inside of us and spread it to the others, if we can. To create light inside you, the first step is humanity, which means try, act, and speak like a human to yourself and to others. Second step is try to treat and speak to anyone with kindness. Following these 2 steps almost automatically will reach you to the level of love to ourselves and to others. So, creating light inside of us are 3 steps. The first step is humanity, the second step is kindness, and the third step is love. Then you will have it inside you, and you can spread it to anyone who listens and maybe follows. To maintain the light inside you, you must try to follow the 10 commandments of God, the Christian God, the only real God that exists. And Catholicism and Orthodox are safe ways to glory God. They are not religions. The light of Christianism is one and does not separate to Catholic or Orthodox. This is very important. The light of Christianism is one and does not separate to Catholic or Orthodox. So we go to church now, a place that God lives. You can clear your thoughts and find peace and maybe some answers in a church and feel the presence of God in there. Temples of God must be open to the believers at any time of the day or week. This light inside you all can be activated. This light inside you all can be activated by the power of acceptance. Then the belief without proof foresee. He who knows his way to the light can be called a guide or guider, a guider of the light, nothing more and nothing less. He can share his light to others, and those who listen, they listen, and those who follow, they follow. So, Jesus Christ left us an important clue to find our way to the light. He said, "Blessed will be those who will believe in me without see." That is a very important information that gave us. Even you don't like it or you don't understand it, we defied God by wearing protective masks in churches. So we have a church. God lives there. We feel His presence. So we are protected from any diseases inside the temple, inside the church. And we shouldn't make the law, vote that law that force us to wear masks in the church. That was wrong, I believe. The path to the light during the years of the Antichrist is narrow and full of difficulties. The spirit of the Antichrist has been released upon this world from late March of 2013, and it has been spread all over in this world. The spirit of the Antichrist has the power to poison and blur the human minds. The control of the mind is a powerful tool, very well camouflaged. We think that our thoughts and our actions are ours, but they don't. Like freedom. Freedom in the years of the Antichrist is a trap. To escape this trap, we only have to accept that we are not free to do everything we want in our life and in this universe. There are laws everywhere in this world and outside of this world. Society has laws and the universe has its laws. Shops have rules. Schools have rules. Everywhere you go, we see rules, and we have to obey them. If we break them, we might pay the price. Accept these words of mine and you will be free. I also have created a prayer against the spirit of the Antichrist. It worked for me, but I believe it will work, and I believe it will work for everyone, or most of you. I will release it, but not today, not in this video, later on. And I will explain later on why. And now the proof of all this I've said. The papacy. The papacy has a letter from a messenger of God, and its content has been kept a secret from all humanity, because it is said that humanity is not ready for it. I say now to all of you, and especially to the papacy, I am ready to read the letter, that secret letter that you have, that the papacy has. If I am ready, so does humanity. All humanity is ready, especially those who will see this video of mine. In the secret letter there is proof of all this that I said, or some of this, and maybe we will learn more things from the letter. I don't really know what the letter says, but I think it proves something about all this. I need to read the letter because it will give me authorization to tell you more things that I know for the universe, for life, and for Christianism. For most of you, all this is just a theory. But for me, it is what it is. And I do not force anyone to believe or follow my sayings. The world, since the release of the spirit of the Antichrist, is divided to Christians and Antichrists. You should accept that also. That we are divided into Christians and Antichrists. That is also true. We have two sides, the Christians and the Antichrists. That's what it is nowadays, or since the beginning, or since the Antichrist was released into our world. As for the letter, gifts and messages from God should be said selflessly to all of us. The popes should know better. If the Pope thinks he is buying time for humanity, he is wrong. We are losing time. Revealing the letter to humanity, or to me, will also give us more time to become better, or worse. Well, I think that's my theory of all things. Well, if you I don't know if I wanna say. I really can't say more. I really can't say more before I see the letter. Well, I wish you could help me convince the Pope to release the letter to the public or to me. That would be very helpful, and that will be free. I will have authorization to tell you more about everything I know about the universe and life and Christianism. So this is my limit. I can't speak to for more about the universe of Christianism. So if you wanna meet me, I will have my social media on the in the description. I will have my Facebook page. You can follow me there if you want, of course. I have my stream. I will have my stream link also. And what else? And I'm also a lyricist. I like to write lyrics, and I will give you a link to that also. So if you wanna meet me, you can follow to my social pages. That's it for me, from me now. Okay, end of transmission. See ya.